This is my Snowbear snow plow. It's actually my brother-in-law's, but I've been using it for years now since he's gotten a quote-unquote real plow for his truck. Just go over how I have it set up, a couple tips or tricks that I've learned to make it easier for me at least to use it. I'm plowing it with a 2001 Dodge Durango 4x4. The plow was purchased from Sam's Club, that's why it's the blue color. I've seen yellow. Home Depot typically sells this as a package and it's orange in color. I cut the snow deflector off. It was kind of rotting away, but I removed it anyway just because I don't plow a whole heck of a lot, so I'm not really worried about snow, kind of light snow, you know, drifting up over the top edge and clouding the windshield. I find that the truck runs a little bit cooler without that windshield, or without the snow deflector on the top as well, because when you're traveling at a higher rate of speed, the snow deflector actually flaps up in the air and kind of makes a straight piece across the top of the plow, so that blocks your radiator a little bit more. I generally drive, you know, everywhere with in the wintertime with it on, even on highway speeds. And I'll drop the plow as low as I can without skipping off the road too much, just to be able to get maximum airflow going into the radiator, just so the truck runs a little bit cooler. The two red sticks on the side, I broke the original ones off. They just eventually, they're plastic. They got cold and cracked. So I think these were like $15 with $5 shipping on eBay. They're meant for, like a Myers or a Fisher plow, but there's nothing really fancy about them that you can't make them fit onto the Snowbear plow. The light bar setup, I got the lights off of eBay as well. I don't remember how much they cost, but they got high beam, low beam, and blinkers with running lights, or the side marker lights on them, so they work fine at night. I can see where I'm going, driving on the road and plowing with them. You can't really see it because it's under that rubber roofing material, but the winch on there, I've gone through about 3 different winches. One of them just broke and I didn't want to pay the cost to rebuild it. I think I had the second one, I bought a used one it was an ATV winch off of eBay, and that was just a cheap Chinese knockoff, and I think I clipped the side of a garage and just blew the gear out of it. This one, the one on there that I've had for a couple of years now, it's actually a real winch, so to speak. It's a worn winch. I believe it's a 1 ton. I bought it when it was on sale at Tractor Supply, and it's worked great. Of course, using an electric winch to raise and lower the plow isn't the quickest thing in the world compared to hydraulic, but again, I'm not really using this for commercial applications. The other advantage of using this worn ATV winch that I have on here is that in the summertime I can undo 2 bolts on the plow and take the winch off, and then go mount it on the ATV and use it for for other things. But obviously, like I said, you can't really see it because it's covered in that roofing, the rubber roofing material, which is kind of a little thing that I've done because, just to keep snow and grime out of the winch cable, and just to help keep the any freezing rain and sleet off of it. I have, last year it got so cold one time that the motor actually froze because it was so cold, and that's when I didn't have it covered at all. Little tip I do is to keep the plow, if you keep it outside like I do, especially in the winter time where it's sitting on the snow and ice, it can get frozen, and if you get a lot of snow, hard to kind of break free from the frozen driveway. So I keep it up on 2x4s, which makes it a lot easier to slide off of the pieces of wood. It doesn't really tend to get frozen on the pieces of wood. Either that, or being that there's pieces of wood there, you can just take a sledgehammer and whack the piece of wood to break it free. Probably the biggest thing though is these problem, at least that I had, was these the mounting, I don't know what you call them, but the mount points between the plow and the truck are kind of precise. The width and the between the two, and the depth is got to be kind of spot on in order to line up the hitch pins into these holes. So 2 things that I did is I forgot what diameter they are, but I just got these PVC caps that I keep on the ends to help keep crap from accumulating inside there. Otherwise you got to take like a screwdriver or something and clean them out of there, because if you get snow and dirt or rust from the metal packed inside that hole, it's not going to slide all the way onto here, so that you can't get the holes lined up. The other thing I did was actually drill out those holes. I think they might be maybe it was 3/8, and I drilled it out to 1/2 inch, whatever size it was. I just drilled it out one step higher, and that definitely makes it a lot easier to get the hitch pins through those holes once you get the plow mounted on there. Now, as far as the cabling and the way everything is routed, I bought, I had the split loom tubing, and all of these ends and the caps that I put on the motor came from Napa Auto Parts. Kind of a little bit expensive, but I had it happen to me one time with some older cabling where got the plow mounted, everything hooked up, and it wouldn't work. And after a half an hour of troubleshooting, it turned out that one of the connections was a little bit corroded. So, cap the ends when you can, and for the rest of the things, you can probably see on here the goop. I frequently put dielectric grease on all the ends and the connections to keep things from rusting away. So, let me pop the hood, and I'll show you what it looks like underneath there. So underneath the hood, I more or less made things permanent. At least they're done right, done nice. The cables and the wires, everything kind of comes up out of the way of everything else. And here you can see I used all of the same stock connections. I believe that the newer model Snowbear plows you can get with a wireless remote. Mine's got the older one with a big black housing that you typically run the flat cable up through the hood, and you can close the hood on it, and then you stick it on the outside of your window. But I've got mine more or less permanently done. I could remove it if I ever sold the truck or got rid of the plow. This cable right here is actually from a plow company that's meant for a Dodge truck. I guess, again, quote unquote real plow. It's from a Myers or a Fisher. I spent it was under $100, but basically this cable is for all of the headlights and everything, and it goes into the stock connections for a Dodge. The only wires that I had to cut or modify on the Durango itself were for the blinkers on the sides. Other than that, the headlights and everything are stock. You just pop out the connections that this came with. All the cables I ran through the firewall, through one of the stock grommets. So, when you're doing that, obviously cut the hole as small as possible, and, cover it up with, some rubberized tape or something when you're done to keep stuff from getting into the cab. So let me shut the hood and I'll show you what it looks like inside. Alright, so inside the truck, you can see here, this is the piece that normally would hook onto your driver's side window, and then you've got the up-down switch. Since I routed all the cables in through the firewall, really I just used a couple zip ties and mounted that thing, and I keep it there year-round. It's not in the way of anything, and it's not really, it's not loose or anything, and the switch, up and down, it's really easy to maneuver. Just moving your hand from the steering wheel over to there. The other thing I did, like I said, I used that the real cable for the headlights, so I need a way to switch between the headlights on the truck and the headlights on the plow, so that I don't have voltage going through the cables all the time. I mounted this switch down here, and that switch just plugs into spade connectors on the end of the cables that run through the firewall, and really all I do is just flick the switch one direction for the plow, one direction for the stock headlights on the truck.